Hello and welcome to the Dead Air Dudes. I'm Izzy.
I'm Raka. Hello, Dead Air Nation. What up, people?
Oh, Dead Air Nation. Salutations and congratulations and welcome joining us in one more quickie movie review. As today we're going to review the cult classic from 2010. Just had its 10th anniversary. I believe last week. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Take it away, Rocco.
Awesome. Okay, so this movie was based on the Brian Lee O'Malley's omnipress book of the same name, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Basically, we have a slacker rocker. He's part of a band that kind of goes nowhere, and he's based in Toronto.
Yeah.
And he's in his 20s, I guess 24 years old or something like that. 22. And 22. And he's starting to date a high schooler. And he doesn't want that to be known, doesn't want that to circulate. His band, they go to some battle of the bands, and then he meets up this, I guess, for a punk chick. I don't know how else you would describe her, punk rocker, but she's captured his eye. She's edgy, she's different, she's confident, she's a little cocky, she's kind of standoffish, and that would be Ramona Flowers, played by none other than Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And now the basic premise, which everybody knows already, I'm not spoiling anything. Yes, he's dating the teenager, but he wants to get away from that. He is more into her. He wants to date her, but in order to date Ramona, he has to survive her exes, namely 7 exes. And in classic video game fashion, he must battle them each and defeat them all to move on. That's about it.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. I mean,
I leave out a lot of stuff. Otherwise, we'd be here forever going through play-by-play. But let's just bring it straight to it. It is a really extremely well done movie, kind of combining a video game-ish angle, comic book strip type of tone, and kind of rom-com at the same time.
Yeah, it's capably directed by Edgar Wright, written by Michael McCall and Edgar Wright, and also taken, like you said, from the original graphic novel by Brian Lee O'Malley. And Scott Pilgrim was played by none other than Michael Cera. Also, it's a kind of a quick introduction to Aubrey Plaza and Anna Kendrick, who have smaller roles within there.
Actually, it's a fantastic cast in hindsight.
It is a very good cast.
2 Avengers are in this.
Yes, Chris Evans is in it, and of course, basically, it's a movie which lends itself to comic books as well as gaming, and almost it's a mishmash of like you said, a romantic comedy, a comedy, an action movie. We have pretty elaborate fight scenes for people who aren't really action stars, for that matter. You see Michael Cera, Jonathan Schwartzman, who's Gideon, actually get into
I mean, right there is one of the draws. You have to lend yourself to fantasy sci-fi a little bit to enjoy the movie. Once you really do, and you open your mind up to, okay, this is how they do battle, this is how they're going to do things. This is not serious life or death, but this is a video game-ish battle. And that's how you move on from fighting bosses. It's awesome. And I think the fight scenes are spectacular. What really translate well is once he fights each one, and they're all different, in different ways, characteristics, gender, past history of Ramona, which you kind of look at her like, whoa, you've been around. They burst into coin. Yeah. After I thought that was clever, very cool. If anything, it brings you back to earth, and you just sit back and you're very amused. Like, ha, this is how you survive and move on. The world is a video game world. Scott Pilgrim's world. In many people's eyes, that's how life is anyway. I think the director, the editors, everybody put this very well together. I was thoroughly entertained. I love this movie. I, unlike you, did not know about the graphic novel first. So I kind of did the reverse. I saw the movie, I was very intrigued, and then I took a look at the graphic novel and and kind of loved it more.
Right. You know, I thought that this movie was
How do you feel?
probably as a comic to movie adaptation. It's I wouldn't say it's perfect because it's perfect, but I would say as close to perfect as possible. I think it was perfectly cast, and you know, basically it gave you. And then the funny thing is, while Brian Lee O'Malley, while in production of the film, he hadn't yet finished the last book. So it was he when they were writing the screenplay and getting it ready, it was going on. It was concurrently being filmed while he was finishing up the last book of the graphic novel. So I found that very that's pretty damn awesome.
So then, having enlightened us with that, how do you feel about the ending? Again, spoiler alert, and we want to turn away now if you don't want to listen to how it ends. But
First, reading the book or watching the movie, you know how it ends. He stays for Ramona.
right,
The movie gives you a little extra about Knives, played fantastically by the actress, and then Wong. Sorry, I got a brain fart for a second.
and that she and
Oh,
well,
you,
he meets the dark side of himself.
I think he should have stayed. He probably, you almost feel bad that you have one to stay for stay with Knives. Matter of fact, if you purchase or if you have the director's edition, which I do, being a huge fan, there are many scenes that aren't in the movie, and there is an alternate ending which he stays with Knives,
Well,
not with Ramona Flowers.
well, because from the straight, narrow, typical movie plot line, it's kind of screwed up. He's cheating on whether she be underage or not. He's cheating on her for this other chick.
She's not underage. She's just
Well,
young.
not she's younger, but he's cheating on her. And you're into this fantasy world, so okay, you buy into everything, but you take yourself out of it. You're like, well, that's messed up.
Well,
You're rooting for Scott to beat all these exes with the girl that he's not even with.
Scott's a dickhead, but he's still endearing enough that you still kind of want to root for him.
Right. And I think that falls into the backdrop because what's in the forefront is the fantastic and spectacular battles that he has to get through.
Right.
And unfortunately, the way the world is, listen, everything can't be all pretty cookie cutter and everything. His heart is really with Ramona.
Yes.
So I felt bad for Nas, but at the same time, it's for Ramona. There's many elements to this movie. By and large, I think the bringing to life on the screen, the way I think a lot of graphic novels to screen should be, is heavy, believable CGI. Now that we have the capabilities and the technology, but also you don't lose the story. And I think he did this perfectly. I think it was a fantastic movie. I would definitely recommend it to anybody. To me,
bottom line,
it gets the top grading, top billing, popcorn, butter, snacks, M&Ms, juju beans. I mean, everything you could possibly good and plenty. Extra large soda. Makes you go to the bathroom quite often.
Give enough accolades to this film. I saw it in the theater. I've read the books countless number of times. Matter of fact, now I'm gonna probably read them again after this. And it's great. It's great.
Fantastic movie, and it actually was the progenitor for many movies.
High rating, and obviously stay tuned for our in-depth cult classic, episode, which obviously this is going to be included. So Yeah, well, what else is there to say about this movie? So
Scott Pilgrim, tip my hat. All right. Thanks for joining us. Thanks
watch,
for for liking and subscribing.
watch it, purchase the director's cut, hear the commentaries, enjoy it, get the books. As always, I'm Izzy.
I'm Raka. Enjoy the movie. Save yourselves. Save Scott. And save the whales.